So, be real. Who wants to really sit around and spend their whole weekend cleaning their house from top to bottom and cooking every damn meal?
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad?
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kela Trishaan and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. So, in today's video, I wanted to discuss just some ways to buy your time back. Now, disclaimer, I do know that not everybody has the money for these things, and honestly, this year has been tough for a lot of people. But in reality, the things that I'm going to talk about aren't that expensive. So if you do have a little disposable income, I do think that you could benefit from buying some of your time back. The way I operate these days is money is infinite. This is just something I'm trying to put out into the universe, but time is not infinite. So if I can get back a little bit of my time, I'm gonna do it. So if you're interested in some ways to kind of get back those weekends, go on ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so the first tip that I have is to consider having your groceries delivered to you. Now, I am somebody who loves the grocery store, but I started using grocery delivery services around the time when I had my son. I had a C-section and wasn't able to go up and down the stairs. So I started using like Instacart and like Prime. And to be honest, I kind of became addicted. Now, I did eventually start going back to the store, but with the pandemic, I have been using those grocery services a little more these days. So the reason why I think that they are a good alternative, not to use all the time if you don't want, but at least sometimes, is because depending on what type of shopping you're doing when you go to the grocery store, I know for me, I'm buying a lot of stuff, and sometimes that could be an hour to 2 hours out of my day that I may or may not have. So instead of me going to the grocery store to do this myself, I could essentially pay someone to do it for me, and you could have the groceries scheduled and delivered to your home at the time of your liking. Ones that I've seen, they'll come to your house as early as like 6 a.m. and sometimes they can come as late as like 12 a.m. So you have a pretty big window for when you can have these groceries delivered. But if you are in a time crunch and you just don't think that you'll be able to make it to the store, or even if you don't feel like making it to the store, consider using these apps, because a lot of times they do give you like free delivery if you order over a certain amount. The way I'm able to justify it is if I'm doing like major grocery shopping, I'm gonna hit that minimum anyway, so why not just have it delivered to the house? So consider having your groceries brought to your home so you don't have to physically go into a store. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is kind of along the lines of like groceries. You might want to consider having your meals actually prepared, or using one of those services where they prepare the ingredients for you and all you have to do is make the recipe. So for example, I have a few people that I know that actually do catering services. If you're on Instagram, they're kind of everywhere. There are people that actually are either chefs or they are self-proclaimed chefs, and they will prepare meals for you so you don't have to prepare them for yourself. I think this is a good thing if you have somebody that you trust, or like a service that you trust, and you're trying to stick to maybe a certain diet, and you may or may not be able to cook, whatever. These people can prepare meals for you, and they can either be delivered or you have to go pick them up, but it's an alternative, so you don't have to cook the meals yourself, but then you still have food ready to go, so you don't have to order out necessarily. Also, there are services like HelloFresh, Blue Apron, where you select the type of meals that you would want to eat, and they bring you the ingredients. So you're not going out buying a bunch of groceries that you may or may not use. They're bringing you exactly what you need for the portions that you would need for those meals, and you are able to still cook them at home yourself. So consider doing something like that if you have issues maybe with buying groceries and them going bad. These types of services will kind of ensure that you are eating the food that you purchase, and you're not having to always cook it. But if you do want to cook it, the ingredients are selected for you and they won't go to waste. Okay, so the third tip that I have is to consider hiring a housekeeper or like home cleaning service. Now, I know that for some people this is not a justifiable expense, and also it can kind of depend on like the size of your place and all that stuff, but let me just say this. So I first used a housekeeping service when I was in my first apartment. It was just something that I decided to look into because I was working a lot and I just got tired of spending my weekends cleaning all the time. So what I did was I went on Groupon, and a lot of times they will run these deals where like your first time using this company you'll get so much off, or it'll be a set price. And depending on how many rooms you have, it can really be inexpensive. So if it's something that you want to look into, I would suggest looking on Groupon. There are places on Instagram, that advertise. There's a lot of different companies you can go through, or even like word of mouth if you know someone that has a housekeeper. Find out what their rates are, and not saying that they need to come to your house every day or even every week. What I like to do, even now, is I may have like a housekeeper come, and I'll have them come maybe like every month or 2 months just to kind of do a deep clean, so it'll free up my weekend so I don't have to do it myself. Or you can just have them come and clean certain rooms. Like if you hate like deep cleaning the kitchen but you need your kitchen deep cleaned, you can have them come and just do your kitchen or your bathroom or whatever the case may be. So my apartment isn't that big, so usually I can handle it myself, but if I'm trying to do a really good job and a really deep clean, it's still going to take me a few hours. So I will utilize those services when I just want to buy back some of my time. Okay, so the fourth tip that I have to buy back some of your time is to consider looking into a fluff and fold service at your local laundromat. Now, this can be funny for some people because I know I was like this for a while. Like I didn't necessarily want anybody washing my clothes, but just like in the last couple of weeks, my husband and I found a place that was actually recommended by some of his friends in our area, and they will wash your clothes, and they dry them, they fold them, and they call you once they're ready. And it saves a lot of time, and honestly, they did an amazing job. So typically what they do is they will charge you by the pound. Now, I don't know if all of them kind of work this way, but this particular one, they use one type of soap. They don't use any fabric softener or any dryer sheets unless you ask them to. So now we know that, and then we can bring them what we want them to use, or if there's a particular soap we want them to use, we can bring them that. But what is cool about it is we're able to drop off the laundry to them. Like let's say we drop it off in the morning. A lot of times it's ready either later on that day, or you get a discount if you allow them like a full day to wash your clothes. So that honestly has saved like hours of time, because you think about the time that it takes you to sort your clothes, take it to the laundromat if you don't have laundry on site, wash your clothes, bring it back, fold it, put it away. They're doing all that for you. So the only thing you have to do is just put your laundry away. So I don't know about y'all, but that has been kind of a lifesaver. So not something that we'll probably use every single weekend, but we'll probably use it relatively often because it's pretty inexpensive. So if laundry is something that you loathe doing, consider looking into companies that will do the work for you. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, I do understand that not everybody has the money to spend on these extra services, especially considering like how this year has gone for some people. And if that is the case, completely understandable. So the last tip that I have is to basically just figure out ways to like not make it as big of a job, like to do your chores. For example, something that I like to do is instead of leaving everything that I want to clean to the weekend, what I'll do is let's say clean the bathroom on a Monday, and then I'll clean the kitchen on a Tuesday. I'll tidy the living room on this day, and so on and so forth. So that way, by the time the weekend comes, you've pretty much done all of your chores, so you're just keeping up with what's already been done. You've already done like your deep cleaning, so you're just basically maintaining, and you're able to buy back your time in that way. So the reason why I kind of look to do things during the week is because I look at it like I'm working anyway. I work Monday through Friday, so if I just take a little bit of extra time and do some of those chores, then by the time the weekend comes, I can actually relax. So that's something that you can do. Or if you have children in the house that are of age to assist, I would say give like age appropriate tasks, so you're not having to do everything by yourself. And if you live with other people, other adults, make sure that you are delegating some of the work so it doesn't all fall on you. Another thing that I used to do when I was living at home with all of my siblings is we would have a chores list. So it's a lot of us. It was 5 of us. So what we would do is we would split up, kitchen to these people, bathrooms to these people, and then whoever was left would, do the floors, like the mopping and the sweeping and vacuuming, whatever. So there's a lot of different ways that you can, I would say, work smarter, not harder. I do think that if you leave everything for one day, it becomes more of a daunting task, and honestly, sometimes it doesn't get done. So consider breaking up your task into smaller projects so it doesn't become as daunting, and you can leave your free time. All right, so that is all that I have for today. As I was saying in the beginning of the video, I do think that if you're able to, these services can really help you just relax. I feel like it's a form of self-care, just like, if you were to go shopping or if you were to go get a massage, why not have some of these chores that have to be done? Why not pay somebody to do them if you just need some rest? And if you're not able to pay for them, just figure out a way that works for you so you can free up more time in your schedule. If you enjoyed this video, please go on ahead and give me a big fat thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, as I always say. If you have made it this far and you have not subscribed, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below, and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. With that being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
It's like I never knew you. Leave that in the past. Leave that broke up in the past. Leave that.